What's going on, YouTube? Really excited today. I don't know why I was on here yesterday and didn't even realize this was a thing, but today I'm talking all about Bricks 1.7. John hopped into the chat yesterday, was here with us live, and brought to my attention that 1.7 was the one that was going to fix the lag, which I had no idea that was the one that was going to do it. Really excited about that one. Then I look today into my site, going to do some updates and just some general house cleaning on the agency site, and realized that 1.7 was actually out and has been out for 4 days. So shame on me for not being on top of things, but realized quickly that we've had this thing for 4 or 5 days so far. So what I did, like of course I would, is I went into the site. I got my site going and updated and went into the page that was giving me the issues that I talked about on the last live, and guess what happened? No lag. Freaking crazy excited, right? So today what I wanted to do was really go through this, show you the site, show you the page, show you what was lagging before, and show you how it's not lagging. And I kind of talked through it a little bit yesterday and said, as soon as you would type, if you had 4 letters in a word, you hit all 4 of them, and then it would type the first one, and then it felt like it would wait, what seemed like forever, but it was really just a few seconds. But it would wait a little while, and then it would type the second one, and then it would wait again. It would type the third, and it would wait again, and it would type the fourth. It was painful. It was really, really painful. And it only happened whenever you got more things going on the site. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and show you the back end of the site, right? So it was the care plan page that it was having issues with. So let's look at the front end. It's not a crazy complex page by any means, right? It's a pretty standard landing page. I've got a couple scripts running. Fathom Analytics is running in the background. I've got Accessibility running, and then I have Talk, the website chat. That's live as well. But those aren't heavy. They're not very crazy scripts. Got a Vimeo video. Wow, words are hard this morning. I've got a Vimeo video right here at the top. And then everything else is just pretty standard grids, text, not real image heavy. Nothing that's really super complex, right? It's not going to load up the visual builder, at least you wouldn't think. But it did on this page. It brought it to a screeching halt whenever I was trying to move sections or really do anything. So I wanted to jump in and show you what it looks like. You can see here we're running Bricks 1.7, and that lag is completely gone. So if I'm to click into this section, like this is what you would expect, right? Protected, right? You would expect it to be blazing fast. You would expect it to really just move, and it wasn't. Specifically in this section, I showed this a little bit yesterday. So what I've got here, and I'll go into a little more detail, right? Because this is the features. I believe this is the feature section, yeah. Or no, it's the sign up section, sorry. So inside of that section, I've got one general container. And inside of that container, I've got the div right here, and then I've got the content switcher, right? So the content switcher, which it's weird, there seems to be a little bit of lag right now. This was not happening a second ago, but it's not happening with the content updates. So that part's nice. I could still get in here, make my changes, and do what I need to do pretty quickly. So that text and update issue was fixed. And I mean, you're always going to have a little bit of lag in these things, but what I'm doing now, you've got the content switcher. We've got our monthly, which is all 3 divs. So one of them for basic wraps this, one for plus wraps this, one for pro wraps this, and then inside of each one of them, I've got the header. So this wraps here, and I did that so that I could do 2 elements on this one to make it the popular, make it stand out a little bit, right? Hey, whoever just joined in, Can't really see it, but appreciate you watching. Leave a comment, let me know, let's chat and say what's up. But in this one, I did that so I can add some tags here. I really wanted to make that one stand out a little bit more. So I've got another div here with a heading inside of it. And then I've got the body wrapper as well. And the body wrapper is pretty much where the price and everything lives. So I've got the price wrapper here with 3 elements, one that's pushed up to the top, one that's pushed down to the bottom, and then the big price in the middle. I've got the full-on description, which is just this text here. And then I've got this feature section, right? The features section is what has pretty much everything here, but it's all wrapped in this read more less. So when you click on this on the front end, it's shrunk down to where they're all small. And then if someone wants to see the features, you can click down, you can expand it, but you get the main ones that I want to get off, that I want to show people right at the top, right? Simple sign up and onboarding, priority support on the middle tier for plus, and then front of the line, like completely skip the line, go to the front, become the number 1 for the pro. Plus, I wanted people to see that there's no contracts. It's really easy to upgrade, move around, and then the pro version has the quarterly business website reviews. And so those things all show, and then you can click to see the additional features. I love it. I think it's a great way to set it up, but it caused complexity inside of Bricks Builder and made it to where Bricks was just really, really, really slow in 1.6 and the point releases that were associated with Bricks 1.6. So 1.7 is what we're talking about today. Bricks release 1.7, really, really, really cool to see that they fixed the lag in the builder when it comes to some of those updates. Because I guess maybe it's my luck, maybe it's the way things work out, but I just finished and just launched my site like a few days ago, and I was struggling through this. Like it was a huge exercise in patience to get through this page in particular, because as you're building, for me at least, maybe y'all aren't that way, but when I'm building, I have an idea in my head, and I think of it in structure. But sometimes you build it and it's like, oh, that doesn't work exactly the way I thought it was going to work. So you've got to go back and maybe wrap everything in another layer and organize it in a different way. Well, because of that lag that was in Bricks 1.6, it took a long time for me to redo just these 6 tables, which are not crazy. It would take me a long, long time to do that. So I'm really excited for this update. And if, I guess it kind of sucks that I had to deal with some of the lag there for a little while, but the bright side is for everyone I build moving forward, that won't be an issue. And for any updates that I have on this table or any of these 6 tables, that won't be an issue moving forward. So the other thing I did want to look at is Bricks Builder's changelog to see specifics on, changelog here. I wanted to see the updates for 1.7 so we can go through each one of them. The biggest one, builder lag on complex pages. So obviously they saw this was an issue. They knew that this was a problem with the builder, one that people had brought up multiple times. It's the number one thing that they've talked about here. So that's a pretty big deal, pretty big part of their update, I'm assuming. And then this release also focuses in on tying up loose ends with third-party plugin compatibility, just some good bug fixes and improvements. So I'm excited to see, a couple of point releases ahead. I'm really interested to see what Bricks 2.0 looks like and what they have planned for it. We've got a lot of things on the roadmap that I'm really excited about. But we've also got this experimental settings. So disable chaining elements and global classes. You guys can go through all this, but if you want to enable it, it's Bricks settings performance. There's a lot to this. And the Bricks is interesting because I figured out Divi, right? I figured out Divi and how to make it work for whether I'm teaching a designer or a developer how to use the tool and how to build it to serve clients, or if I'm training a client on how to use it and how to actually update the website based on how we've set it up. And so I spend a lot of time trying to coach clients or coach other people who are out there on how to use that tool, and I'm trying to figure all that process out inside of Bricks. Because with Divi, You could say you've only got access, if you're a subscriber or even an editor, you've only got access to the content tab, but you don't have the design or the advanced tab. With bricks being laid out a little bit differently, I'm still trying to figure out the right setup. So it's cool to watch them continue to grow this, but I can't wait to see the next evolution of what they bring to the table. There's a ton of nerdy things, right? All these new improvements or new features or fixes. And again, I mentioned this in the last live, but what I love and appreciate about what the team at Bricks is doing is everything is just very transparent, right? So all of these things are probably things that were rated or ranked inside of this idea board and the roadmap, but now they've come into the actual changelog, and that's cool. Like a lot of times you get this part, right? You get, well, this is what we changed, but what you don't get is, in a lot of cases, the roadmap, right? This is what we have planned. This is what we're working on next. See, like this back to top element, it's planned, but it's not next. See, I'm curious as to how this and this get to jump things that have this many upvotes, but I guess it's there's other things that are going to be weighed in. I would imagine it's got to be complexity of actually putting it in place, although a back to top, pretty easy. But what they may be looking at is that is a solution that's available, because I have it on my site. I don't know if you all notice that, but if I were to go back to the front, I'm just going to leave this page. I actually have a back to the top element on my site because of Bricks Extra. So that could be part of what they do. I guess I need to move this talk. It's covering up my back to the top. Got to fix that. But the functionality is there, right? And maybe that's why this hasn't been moved up the priority list and put into here. But WooCommerce being able to actually have a My Account builder, that's going to be incredible. What I would love to see is some more detailed LMS integrations, because one thing I was working on with Divi was a program called, or plugin called Divi Lifter. And it was going to be Lifter LMS components in the front end. And we missed, like, there were some work that was going on, and then there was another big major release of Divi, a big update to the core, and we sort of abandoned the plugin. But I know it would have been great, because we had the featured video, or the course, well, I guess it would be lesson. The lesson video was going to be its own module. The My Account setup was its own module, and I had it to where you could do the links across the top, or you could turn it in the 2-column where the menu was vertical on the left side, like a more traditional LMS. So we did some really, really cool stuff with it, and it was grouped well, and everything was customizable in the visual builder, and it I was pretty excited about it, but it just never came to light. So I'm hoping that something like that comes out with Bricks Builder, and hell, I hope it comes out with Divi as well. I hope somebody takes the idea and runs with it, because it's just another one of those quality of life things that would speed up the process, and I believe there's a good market for it. But getting back to Bricks, there's some cool things that are coming up, some really cool things. I hope this mobile builder, it's in progress, and there's a lot of comments about it, but this would be awesome. Just to be able to do it natively. So something else I'll show you guys, the solution that I have in place for the mobile builder and Bricks is a little different, because I've got Bricks Builder, Bricks Extras rather. And so this burger doesn't show. It's a little bit different than here. This is the regular Bricks Builder or Bricks menu. And then whenever you go down, this burger shows up, or hamburger menu shows up, and it's a trigger for an off-canvas element that is hidden otherwise until it gets triggered. So when I trigger this, the mobile menu is set up way better for mobile. So I'll show you what it looks like. You click here, right? It pops up with this, and if you're on your computer, you can hit escape. It'll close. You can click off of it. You can click the X. If you're on your phone, it's the same thing. You click off of here, it'll close. You can reach this, you hit the X, it'll close. The menu's down at the bottom, big call to action. This is completely customizable. So it's there's nothing in here that is just native. Like, in fact, this is a div. And then this is just an icon that I put in here that actually has the close trigger associated with it. And this is so there's a div that wraps this whole thing. There's a div that wraps this and a div that wraps these two, and there's space between so that they sit on opposite sides, lines everything up real nice. And then you've got the menu here, which everything sort of slides out. It just looks, I think it looks okay. It's fine, but it functions really well for a mobile phone, that's the whole goal, right? You want people to be able to reach everything with their phone, not have to, get their second finger out or their second hand out and use it. Like, you should be able to reach what you need to reach, what's really important, with your one hand. Just go to it. And so that was my goal with that menu. And I had to build it with Bricks extras again and do the off canvas. So it's not something that's natively built in. So it would really, really, really be cool to see what that team can do with a mobile builder. So hopefully that happens here, very soon. But going back into their changelog, let's go back up here, hit the changelog, and see if there's anything else that's of interest here. Deleting all global classes. This bug, despite multiple reports, we were never able to replicate. 1.7 addresses it by only updating the global classes in the database, if not empty. The only minor downside is that you'll always have at least one class in the global class dropdown. You can always manually delete by removing the Bricks global classes entry from the WP options table. Now that's getting into some much more advanced stuff. If you feel like going that route, do it, but I'll be leaving that class in there. No reason to go into the database and do that. It's just, I don't think the benefit will outweigh the work. I mean, not that it's hard, but why even go through the trouble? Dynamic data. That's one thing where Bricks really crushes it, is dynamic data. I absolutely love it, and they make it super easy. So awesome. I really wanted to jump in here and just talk, for a little bit about this 1.7 release, about that lag going away, and showing you the difference of what it is here on this site care plan. Every other page that I have was solid, right? Didn't have any issues at all. No issues, actually. It's so them being able to fix it on the more complex pages. I don't know what exactly qualifies as complex. I guess the toggle with nested elements is considered complex, but we were able to fix it. It moves quickly now. It operates fast, and pretty excited with 1.7. Had no idea that it was out, but I'm really happy that it is. So thanks for joining. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for watching the live stream. And there's plenty of other stuff on the channel. So if you like this sort of topics, these general, just real laid back, unpolished hangouts, subscribe to the channel. Pretty much on the weekends, either Saturday or Sunday, we're going to go live. We'll talk about random things in web design. It could be our web development in general. I'm really diving into ClickUp for business management, so we'll talk how to manage your website business, how to take leads and build a process from that. We'll talk about the tools. We'll talk about Bricks Builder. We'll probably talk about Divi 5.0 when it comes out. We'll talk about tips for business, right? So how you can actually provide value for your businesses or the clients that you work with. That's going to be a big one as well, because I want to have a whole playlist here on the channel as a dedicated resource for potential clients and current clients. So those things are all going to be content that's coming out of this channel. So if you're interested in any of that, hit the subscribe button, come back and hang out with me every weekend, and just get active in the channel, because we're going to continue to put out polished content as well. I've got 2 or 3 videos that are getting edited right now. I'm looking for an editor, try and find the person who can balance speed, time, quality. Price is always part of it as well. Either that, or I'll just do it myself, which I prefer not to. But all of those things are in play, and I really want to dive in, spend some time here. I love going live, because it's interactive in the moment. So if you're watching, I'm gonna do a better job of trying to schedule these lives and put the topic out there. So come and check them out, come and watch, come hang out, get active in the chat, and I'm looking forward to seeing where things go. So appreciate you. Have an awesome day, and be kind to those around you.